Hi, karibu sana. Welcome back again. So this is a thank you to everyone that tunes in. It's a thank you to everyone that gets to watch our videos and listen to them. This is you making us and making this whole channel a whole. And so today we dive into a different topic and we are looking at the psychology of labor.
Labor as in child labor, rather birth, getting your baby here, bringing your baby forth into the world. Yeah.
Childbirth.
Childbirth.
Yeah.
Yes, childbirth. Now, I was really looking forward to this conversation because I feel that there is not enough education, for us as we're growing up, and there's just not enough education. I don't know if it's only in our curriculum as Kenya. There's not enough information. There's not rather enough preparation and education for girls and women concerning childbirth itself. Of course, pregnancy and then childbirth itself and then postpartum. So this is an important conversation because we can explain photosynthesis very comfortably. We can explain, all the mountains and what are volcanic and what are not. But many people struggle with what is going on in their body during birth. So yeah, let's address that today.
And we first begin by accepting that we come from a very cultural community. And so our mothers, our grandmothers, they were not comfortable speaking about birth because I don't know, maybe it was seen as if it is a birth and children should just be things that are supposed to be hidden.
Right.
And so that is why we are taking this opportunity to be vocal about it. And as women, let's learn how to be vocal with our demands and each and everything. And so today we look at the psychology of labor, what happens to us women during this process. And so I'd like to begin with what we feel, and what we feel is pain. There is pain during childbirth. We are not here to say there's no pain during this process, but we want to look at ways in which we can make this pain a nice pain, if there's something like that.
I was very pleased to learn, between, comparing my first and my second pregnancy. During my second pregnancy, I was very, very glad to come across the concept of a positive birth experience. Yeah. Not painless, not drama free, but positive, and maybe unpacking that starts with just knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
That yes, there is excruciating pain. I love the word excruciating because then it describes it's not just cramps, it's not just a headache, it's not just ukikatwa, November. It's excruciating pain that comes. The description of it is, it's contraction. So it comes and goes. It holds and then lets go, holds and then lets go. And it radiates from your back to your, in general, we experience it differently, but the general description is that it radiates from your back to your lower abdomen, from your, just back and forth between your back and your lower abdomen. And it intensifies as labor progresses.
Yes.
Now, of course, we are not sitting here today as we have not transitioned into medical doctors. We remain psychologists. Therefore,
Yes.
our bottom line today is still wellness, right? It's still your how your body experiences this, and how that affects your wellness, how that affects you as a human being, right? So as the pain is radiating and as it's intensifying, what is going on in terms of like, where are you as a person in all this, and how does that look? How does this experience look like for you? Is there anything that can be done to reduce the pain? Is there anything, yes, to make it better? Is there anything that can be done for this not to be as traumatic? Because childbirth is actually categorized as a traumatic experience.
It is traumatic.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Is there something that can be done for it to be, better? Because, I mean, the fact that we give birth. The human race is continuing. It's been here for quite a while, and tunaendelea bado. This is an experience that, you know, either this is how you got here, this is how your children have gotten here. So it's something very important that all of us, it's a conversion all of us to be, should be a part of. So yes, the pain is excruciating. Is there a way to prepare beforehand? Is there a way to make this better? Is there a way to not go crazy? Because there's actually labor-induced or birth-induced psychosis.
Well, I first start with the sigh because we can see is there a way to actually make it better. But just like you had said earlier, it is different for everyone. The way you see it, the pain radiates from the back to the front. I believe for every woman, just like I feel like when we get our periods, ever since from our teenagehood, it is slowly preparing you to giving birth, whether people accept that or not. So that type of pain that you get to experience during your periods, those cramps, it is not what you will experience them, but in different intervals. You the pain that you feel hivyo inakufanya you can't go to class, you can't go to work, and now during this labor time, it it first starts with a 20 minutes different. It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. So we are telling you to actually prepare yourself that there's pain that is going to be there. And this is not a way of instilling fear. It is just a way of helping you to accept that this pain is going to be there. And when this pain is there, I believe you can help your mind, because the mind either amplifies the pain or transforms the pain. So when we're looking at your wellness, everything depends on you. You can either be telling yourself during this time, this is too much, I cannot handle it, or you can tell yourself, this is a process that is going uh, through in me, and I need to go through this process so that something beautiful is able to come out of it. And this shifts the way you feel that pain, because you can choose to either amplify it or transform it.
Oh, that's really beautiful. Either amplify or transform. Either look at it as pain, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, or pain so that something beautiful is born, something beautiful comes forth. Now, I'd like to emphasize the fact that, like war, you do not prepare for a battle on the day of the battle. You do not begin to strategize about a battle on the material day. This is also true about labor. This is also true about childbirth. So, making use of your 9 months of pregnancy, your 40 weeks, or however long it's gonna be for you, to prepare for said battle is a step in the right direction. So it's a step in the right direction. It also makes you feel like you have some sort of control,
Yeah.
some sort of agency. Deciding how the actual birth day will be, right? So preparation looks like a preparation for labor, being prepared beforehand. So setting aside time to make sure that you're practicing your breathing, right? That you have settled, you've learned a few breathing techniques, and then try them out, find out what works for you. Have a couple and just practice them. Find out, like when you enroll to Lamaze, yeah, when you find out you're pregnant, enroll for Lamaze, whether it's in your hospital or a different institution, because there then you get to interact with specialists, a specialist for breastfeeding, a specialist for labor and birth. And as you're interacting with them, then you know what information to take in and what, to set aside. For example, now as you're interacting with your specialist for birth,
Yeah.
he or she is able to recommend or walk you through a number of positions to labor in, right? So whether it's on all fours or standing and squatting or the third and the fourth position, as you're practicing this during your pregnancy, on the material day, you'll be able to choose one of them or two of them, to practice, to use as you're laboring.
Whichever that will feel comfortable for you, at
exactly.
that particular moment.
Yes.
Because you might never know if it's the old force that will work for you, because
Until
our
they're
body,
very dangerous.
yes. So that is extremely important. And even as you were saying, practice how to breathe. Guys, you would not know how to breathe from your house. I'm going to echo what she said. It is extremely important. For example, I'd give you like a very vivid example. I didn't know that when the labor intensifies, when it is coming, you can actually feel it coming. When it is coming, there was a nurse that kept on telling me, when it comes, you have to breathe in and then let it out. And so I learned that technique at that particular moment. But if I had this podcast where someone was telling me that you need to learn, I would have enrolled in those classes. But that breathing really helped me. And it is not this regular breathing that you're doing. You truly need to prepare and plan. And just like we had said earlier, if you fail to plan, you're just planning to fail, unless you want to have. I know people say we don't have positive birth, but even in the Bible we have Hebrew birth, and that Hebrew birth comes from preparation.
Right, indeed.
And so even before we actually close, I'd like us to just remind everybody around us, what women do not fear pain. Because this is a natural process that God ordained for us. What women fear is feeling unheard, feeling unseen, and feeling unsupported. So as a woman, you need to ensure that you have like a great support system, and this is part of you preparing to have a positive birth experience, because there's nothing as hard as feeling pain, and there's a nurse screaming at you, and your spouse, it's
doing all the wrong things,
that
saying all
amplifies
the wrong things,
that
yeah.
amplifies the pain. And truly, when you are in an environment that everything feels positive, then the birth in itself becomes positive.
Indeed. Kabisa kabisa. Now, when you're experiencing labor, like whether it is your first or your seventh, it's gonna be different. But there's a general, what passage, the general procedure. There's a general what to expect. There's the first stage of labor, and the second is active labor, and then there's the your baby's head lowering, etc. So understanding what you need during every stage beforehand is very important, so that you know that at the very beginning, when the pain is still mild, knowing that maybe what I need right now is to conserve energy, what I need right now is to hydrate, what I need right now is to rest, because in the next few hours I won't have as much rest. Knowing what you need during every stage is very important. And again, me nikubalishe ni to overemphasize that before that day, the before hospital, before your EDD, just making sure that I sat down and I prepared. I sat down and I decided. I tried this breathing and that breathing. I tried this position and that and the other. So I feel equipped. I have tools to go to this experience with. So whether it's breathing, positions, and then a very important thing is to decide, like what you said about the people around you. Your birth plan needs to include, who do I want there with me? Thinking through it and deciding beforehand, who do I want there with me? Do I want my partner? Do I want my mom? Do I want my friend? Do I want all of them? Depending on also what your hospital allows. Now, your birth partner needs to be someone who you can be very comfortable with. So whether the pain will lead you to a point of, shedding off all your clothes, because that's a thing, just that you want to feel as free as possible. Because I think that's the whole point of Kutango Zote, is that you don't want anything burdening you, that your body doesn't want anything burdening you. So it needs to be someone you're very comfortable with. It also needs to be someone you don't need to at the moment, you don't need to take care of them. They don't need to take care of you. So just thinking through who you want, in the labor ward with you, and then delivery ward if that is allowed.
Yeah.
Also making sure that you understand that your birth plan is just that. It's a plan. It might not go exactly as you have planned. So your birth plan needs to include total surrender. It needs to include I intend on doing a vaginal birth, right? I intend on going to this hospital, I intend on going on this day, I intend on staying this long, etc. But should it change, I'm gonna go with the flow.
I'm open.
I'm open. And something that really helps with that openness is, as you set time to prepare for birth, to have mantras, right? Things you repeat to yourself, whether as you're breathing or during mindfulness, during grounding, things you repeat to yourself. So it could be everything is going to be okay. It could be it's going to hurt like hell. It's going to feel like I'm dying, but I won't die, right? It can be it's only going to be for a moment. Another mantra can be I'm going to cooperate with my body. My body, my mind, my uterus, all of me is working together to bring forth my baby, and I'm going to cooperate, right? So there are all these very beautiful mantras out there that you can use for yourself. Remember, when you prepare beforehand, then it becomes easier to remember on the material. And then whatever happens that day, whether you prepared for vaginal birth and then your gyna comes in and says, this emergency, we need to, reel you into surgery, allowing yourself, giving yourself over to that procedure, giving yourself over to just the whole process, then reduces anxiety. Something else that's also important is just the whole, because there will be check-ins, very annoying but necessary check-ins, how much have you dilated, if someone just sticking their fingers to check how much you dilated. It's very, very uncomfortable, but very, very necessary.
Yeah.
So knowing this beforehand, that this is going to happen, someone is going to need to check how much I've dilated, and it's going to hurt, it's going to be uncomfortable, I'm going to feel violated. But again, what's my mantra? I'm going to cooperate. So there's a good something that works really well is breathing in. Like when it's time to do the check, you breathe in and then you breathe out, so that you don't tense up, so that it's less uncomfortable. Like that you minimize the discomfort.
Yeah.
And then now, after labor, when you're reeled into when you walk into the delivery room, again following instructions. And I know there's this intense pain, this indescribable pain. So it's hard to follow instructions. It's hard to, remain sane.
Yeah.
But doing your best, and remembering there's all this. Oh, remember not to scream. Remember to conserve energy. But there are moments where you prepare. There are moments
It's
where
okay.
the moments when it's okay, right? The moments you just get to do what now your body is asking you to do, whether it's moving your clothes, whether it's letting out a scream, whatever helps. Yeah.
That is so true and that is so refreshing. But what we would like to leave you guys with is just like Shad said, those mantras. But telling yourself when you're feeling that pain, is this pain is serving a purpose.
True.
Let it stay with you that that pain has a purpose, and that already would calm you down, and your birth experience will be different compared to someone with a different form of view. So asanteni sana for being here. Thank you so much, and see you on the next one.